Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Macho Man. It's Shut Your Mouth Lounge episode number, what the fuck is it?
269. Nice.
And just like that, I've already killed the prioritization by YouTube. Well, we also said
are you saying that YouTube doesn't like Donkey Kong noises?
I was going to say YouTube doesn't like me saying what the fuck, but you know, that also is true. Not big fans of the DK rap, to my understanding.
How dare they? That is a national work of art. International work of treasure.
YouTube may not like the DK rap, but the new head allegedly is really into Bored Apes. Yay.
I've heard about this, yes.
I haven't.
I mean,
should I be concerned?
I mean, NFTs.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, NFTs are stupid, but I think people have a bit like... NFTs are stupid. They're economically unsustainable, and they tend to waste a lot of energy needlessly. However, putting all those things aside, I think that it's become a crusade thing of, you know, stand against NFTs or you're a bastard who loves capitalism. So people have a tendency to freak out a bit too much when NFTs get brought up.
Hey, I don't like them because of the energy use.
Well, I mean, right now in the States, we're pushing electric vehicles real hard as a solution to the climate crisis, when it isn't even vaguely a solution to the climate crisis. Because where does that electricity come from?
Yeah.
The same fucking power plants that produce the rest of the electricity.
But yeah, like my two main points against it is just the electricity and people's works getting stolen. And that's pretty much my thing against.
Yeah, that part is like, well, why does it work this way?
Maybe the copyright law should actually give a shit about this instead of fucking taking down people's videos for using like 2 seconds of music.
Unbelievable.
Well, the thing is, taking down people's videos...
And easier.
Yeah, easier. YouTube makes it hyper convenient so that the companies don't sue them instead of the people making the videos.
I mean, even if it was just the companies that actually own shit, then it would be better. There's a game that a person is trying to erase from the internet, and they don't even own the game. Allegedly, they're a collector whose collection got leaked, and they're trying to keep the game in the collection, even though they still have the physical copy. But whatever. So they've been copyright claiming every source of the game that they can find, including videos and pictures and Twitter stuff, and they're claiming them as Nintendo. This is a Japan exclusive game released only for the PC in the 90s. Nintendo had fuck all to do with it, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, you know, once again, like this shit only worked for companies. It would still be a hellscape, but it would make sense. It's not. Like, it doesn't. But anyway, yeah. Pink.
Yeah.
What's coming out on your channel?
Coming out on my channel. Let's see. There's gonna be Ultimate Alliance stuff coming out on the channel, as per the usual. Even though I kind of got lazy on that, but never mind that. It's all back to normal. There will be, I think, a Dead by Daylight video coming out this week, and there will be another video of some sort that will probably be coming out by the end of the week, maybe midweek, I don't know, and I'll get into that more when I get to what I did for my week.
All right.
Woohoo!
So, on my second channel, I have another short video coming out. It's not a short. It's not a YouTube short. It's a short video, which I have to specify because the video could be a short, but I don't know how you fucking make it work like that, and I don't want to make videos that are in a phone
Yeah.
aspect ratio. But yeah, so there's gonna be one of those coming out, and I went into fuck it, ship it mode.
The best mode.
Yeah.
New review out Monday.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna I have also scheduled a community post on my account to come out tomorrow to specify this because I don't expect people to actually watch this video. But yeah, I have 2 videos coming out. One of them has better scripting. The other, in my opinion, the other one has better editing. Both of them kind of suck, but it was either this or nothing, and I'll take this. I've been having issues with staying awake, so it seems like I'm during like it seems like this was that week of the month, you know, when I get my period.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I just had trouble staying awake and doing stuff, and I was like, I want to stream. I want to actually get things going. And every time something came up, just like for the past 4 months. Like I even tried, like for one of those times, I actually forced myself to do at least something. And it's a good thing that I didn't stream, because holy shit, it was a train wreck. Like
A train wreck?
a train wreck.
Ah.
Like the closest approximation I can make is W. Imagine imagine the whatchamacallit. Shit. I forgot the name of the game. Whatever, never mind. Disregard. So yeah. It just didn't work out. I couldn't commentate good enough because I was falling asleep. And the game didn't help. It's the best way I can put it.
Yeah.
There weren't enough really like funny stuff.
Why not?
Because it was made by Naughty Dog.
Fair enough.
I just imagine there for a second Pink was doing that bit from American Psycho. Why not, you stupid bastard?
So yeah, hopefully I can stream this week. If I will stream, then to try and get things going, because I wanted to finish Last of Us. That's the thing I tried to record and it didn't work. I'll get back to that sometime. Like I want to finish it still, but at the same time I have to think about, okay, what will I make a review on? And I can't really dedicate like 4 days to getting through The Last of Us if I don't also want to make a review on Last of Us. And I kind of don't. So so I will try streaming the Gunvolt Luminous Avenger, which is Mega Man, but more.
How mega is he?
Very.
Oh.
Like Gunvolt is Mega Man Guilty Gear.
Oh.
Oh.
So yeah, like that should be something fun, at least to play. But yeah, I don't know when this will happen. I might tell y'all in advance just so y'all can see if you can't be there to mod. Because one of the things that's keeping me is just I'm like, okay, so I need to set up a list of rules for the chat. I need to actually enforce those rules. How the fuck do I do this while also playing a game and taking notes? Which I also have to teach myself how to take notes now because I want to get better at reviews. So I have my hand full with shit.
Oh, that sounds unpleasant. And unsanitary.
Yes,
No,
it is.
poo-poo.
But yeah, I don't think there's just so many things that I have half-assed with this stuff. Like, how would I take notes? The easiest one would be to actually have like physical paper and a pen. There is no paper in the house. So I could try taking notes on the PC, which I did did the Last of Us recording to check. Turns out, if you don't interact with the browser enough, then it just goes into a freeze state because there are so many processes from the recording and the streaming, and it doesn't work. So. Well, it's like it's a thing of it would be fine, I think, if I actually interacted with the, or like, you know, if I whatchamacallit, I don't know, like if I interacted with it more, then it probably wouldn't go into the freeze state. But at the same time, like, it's taking notes. It's, hey, this is the thing that I thought just now that actually is important. And let me tell you, during that like hour of Last of Us, there wasn't a lot of important things to talk about. There was one time where the subtitles didn't match up with the voice line, and that's it.
It's kind of the issue with doing a Let's Play of a game whose story you don't really care about, and it's a story-based game.
Yeah, I mean, I wish it was only that. Like, the story I don't really care about, but whatever, the characters are, like, the characters I thought were good, at least at a point. Like, I thought the story was good at a point. The gameplay, I just really don't like the gameplay. The way they try to mimic Resident Evil just doesn't work for me.
You know, Last of Us was in a place where it came out at a time where there was so little in the way of survival horror that I was happy to have that. But yes, in this time where we have got the Resident Evil remakes, we've got Dead Space remake, we've got several side things coming out. We're coming up on the Silent Hill remakes.
I was about to say Silent
Suddenly,
Hill.
Silent Hill, yeah. Which Lord knows how that's going to turn out. You know.
Yeah, like
I'm more hopeful about it than most people, but yeah, there's some problems looking on there.
Yeah, I'm more hopeful about the new Japanese Silent Hill, Silent Hill Z or whatever they call it. I forget. Silent Hill Z. Anyway. Where James has to look for the Dragon Balls.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Silent Hill F.
Yeah, Silent Hill F. I'm more excited for it than I am for the 2 remake, because I don't remember who they gave F to, but I trust them more than I do Blooper.
The funny thing is that ordinarily, you know, I'm a believer in publisher oversight. Like, I would say, okay, license your license out to a bunch of different game developers, but have, you know, let's say, oh no, who's a publisher I trust more than Konami? Oh, any of them. Nonetheless, Valve, let's license out your license to another dev, but Valve has some oversight. However, with Konami, I would just straight up say, okay, give Konami no oversight. Like, just let somebody else run with the license, because they must have better ideas than Konami does.
Yeah, and so, like, if that's similar to what, like, if that's what they were doing, then once again, like, I am a lot more, like, I'll believe in a dev team that I don't even fucking know. Then I'll do Blooper. Because Blooper, because at least, like, this is the thing of, like, I don't know that team, so I don't know what they can do. I know that Blooper makes stories about how mentally ill people should kill themselves, and does
Pink know that one?
I'm just confused.
So Bloober team has become kind of infamous in the last couple of years because they made a game that was 100% transparently a Silent Hill send-up, if not a Silent Hill ripoff, called The Medium. And every Silent Hill game, generally speaking, has some serious meaning to it. Silent Hill is a game a game series that is known for getting real, as the kids say.
Oh, man.
And so the Medium tried to get real, and the whole thing was the antagonist was this monster who was also a person who had been molested when they were younger. That was causing them to supposedly turn into this monster while running around in like this supernatural world. And the resolution of the plot was that she should kill herself so that she doesn't hurt anyone when she's the monster. However, given the very, 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 very transparent symbolism of being molested as a child and then turning into a monster, it kind of gave people the message, the theme of people who were molested as children should kill themselves because they will inevitably become a molester themselves.
Right.
And those guys have been put in charge of the Silent Hill 2 remake. I'm not too worried because it doesn't look like they're going to be taking too bad of liberties, though James looks terrible. But yeah, a lot of people really don't like the idea of those guys developing a Silent Hill game, especially considering Silent Hill, like I said, could get real, but it never did it like that.
Yeah, and then also like with Blooper, they also made Layers of Fear, which is the same thing, but instead of that, it's only if no wait, what the fuck was it? If you're abused, then you'll become an alcoholic and also abuse your family. Then they also had another game, like the only game that isn't if you have some sort of trauma or mental illness, then kill yourself, is Observer. If memory serves. They have like 5 games, four of those have some sort of, if you have trauma or mental illness, kill yourself. I
see.
I love Project Lead, Low Tier God. Yeah. That's why I'm saying, like, if Konami has oversight, then it's gonna be Konami, so it's not gonna be great oversight. But I just at least hope that Konami would be protective enough of their IP to make it so Bloober can't fuck with the story.
Oh my god. I was just about to say, well, I don't see where they could really fuck with Silent Hill 2's plot, you know, in a way that would really,
I think
they would like. Yeah. A character who was molested and then did something that I wouldn't say is bad, but someone who's got different views than me would say is a bad thing to do, and then killed herself. And the game interprets Angela in a very sympathetic, tragic sort of way. And it's supposed to be when she does it, it's no, Angela, don't do that. You can still live for something else.
Yeah.
But Bloober Team might say, finally, justice.
Really, it was the abstract daddy who was the victim here.
Yeah.
Definitely not a big fucking penis monster. Not at all. Again, Blooper team.
It also needs to be said.
Are the sorts of people who would license out the Mara design from Shin Megami Tensei to make the abstract daddy model.
Hang on. I'm not going so far as to insult their fucking monster design here, but nonetheless, because I don't know that much. But nonetheless, it should be said, just for clarity's sake, the sympatheticness of what Angela did differs depending on whether or not you believe she killed her brother as well, and whether or not you believe her brother also joined in on what her father was doing.
I mean, judging from what I remember of the newspaper, it seemed like the brother also joined. So,
fair enough.
You know, fair game. You go, girl.
Oh boy.
No, actually, if memory serves, it's not even the newspaper. It's bits of it is the newspaper, but there's also the shit that she says without context in the game. Where once you learn the context, it's just like, oh. And obviously, a lot of it is centered around the father, but there's also hints of the brother, if memory serves, at least once.
Well, there's also bits of the mother.
Yeah.
Because that one's the one that really gets to people, because that's the one that everybody's seen some form of in real life.
Yes.
That's the one that really disturbs people, because after a certain point, like, people get pretty used to just tuning out the concept of rape and molestation, and it's not too visceral. And there's a lot of people who have trouble sympathizing with victims of those things. But I think just about anyone can, either because they had a good, upbringing by a supporting mom, or because they didn't. Either they can sympathize with or be troubled by Angela's mom's behavior.
Yeah, like the thing with Angela's mom is that if you remove it, it's just torture porn. If you add it, then it's real.
That's another thing, yeah. I mean, specifically, oh boy, I know I'm not preaching to the choir here. I'm talking to the wrong people, but there's a movie called Precious.
Is there?
There is. I have talked about it in the past. Do you guys remember what that movie is about?
Mostly.
No.
A very abusive mom routinely abuses her daughter because her husband, the father of the daughter, raped the daughter, so the mom blames the daughter for seducing her husband away from her.
Ah.
And it is one of the most horrifying movies there is in the non-horror genre.
Yeah.
It is rough. Hang on. Wait a second.
Yeah.
Were we just talking about what you're releasing on your channel, Addy?
Yeah, I don't remember how we. So, oh yeah, Last of Us' story. That's how we went there.
Yeah. Not only have we cursed, we've also mentioned the topic of rape. I think YouTube is very, very disinterested in this video now.
Yeah. So yeah, the video was coming out. Love you.
Yeah. Let's see. On my channel, we may or may not be entering the hype cycle for a new Total War Warhammer update. If so, expect me to drop something for that. This is the easiest time for me to make YouTube videos. Creative Assembly just hands me content. Thank you, Creative Assembly. Beyond that, I can't make any predictions. The video I put out the other day, I put out because there was a big announcement. And I was happy to talk about that. But I had 2 weeks of absence of content. It'll depend a lot on where my mentality goes for the channel.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And what is on the group channel, Eddie?
Well, I forgot to open it up. So give me a sec. I guess while we wait, I feel like it says something about the overall like the overall of Last of Us that we need to talk about fucking Silent Hill and Blooper Team.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I haven't kept up with the stuff that they released about the 2 remake too much. I saw that they made it so it has combos. Not really, but it's removing a bit of the game's identity by adding like movable cameras and combat, a better combat, which is missing the point.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those it's one of those things where like I don't want to say the combat should be shitty, but like the combat shouldn't be the focus.
Well, it's kind of... The thing that's worrying is that the last Silent Hill game that had combos was Homecoming.
Yeah. Like
I mean, it was very distinctly possible to beat 90% of Silent Hill 2 with just melee. That's not because of the combos, though. That's just because the AI, the enemies in that game weren't all that aggressive either.
Yeah.
Silent Hill has always been the easiest of the survival horror series. Resident Evil, you try and get through that shit with just the knife. That is a specifically well-known challenge run, most of which, like outside of boss fights, most of which consists of running away.
But yeah, that's kind of what set Silent Hill apart for me. Is that, like, Silent Hill was more of a, here's the story. Like, it's more of an adventure game than an action game. Whereas Resident Evil and Fatal Frame and stuff like that were more action games than adventure. Well, Fatal Frame was kind of between the two for me. But then Fatal Frame, we all know where Fatal Frame's story goes, and we don't want to talk about it.
Me and Pink don't know, but we don't want to talk about it again.
But yeah, so coming out on the group channel is Operation Claymore 1.7, as well as us revisiting Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
What? When did that happen?
You were left out.
No! My favorite fighter game of all the times!
We had to do it to you.
You really wanted to fight Ginyu, but just you had to rob you. We couldn't do the best of the Ginyu mirror matches.
Yeah.
I'm so sad.
And yeah, that's coming out on the group channel.
Oh!
How can we call it a group channel when I missed out on Dragon Ball Fighters? Zed.
Fighter Z. Oh no, he's turning British on us!
Oh, then I was in an argument recently about whether or not the UK is part of Europe. It was great.
Geographically or economic or politically?
Well, judging by the arguments of the people, they considered both to be the same. Somehow.
Oh.
So the argument consisted of them trying to convince me that the UK has left Europe, and I kept making jokes about how the British Isles are now coasting into the ocean.
Yeah.
And like one of those guys was, because it was two people, by the way. One of those guys was American. Whatever. The other guy is from Europe.
Oh.
Yeah. You'd imagine that they'd know more about the continent they live on, but I guess not.
Geography, after all, is a joke.
Yeah. But like
That's what I've been saying.
Like geography was one of my weakest subjects, and like shit, dude.
Hey now, insults. You can't just call him shit dude.
Yeah. Species person.
Oh no! Fecal fellow.
Oh, I was trying to look for another synonym for dude that starts with D, so I could go. So it's do something like Dookie dude.
Yeah.
On this channel we don't have fecal funny, but we do have fecal fellow. Couple of them actually.
Jesus,
Anyway.
Jesus Christ. God help us all.
So yeah, now the British Isles all just getting flinged into the ocean. Pink.
Yeah. Well. What did I do this week? What did I do this week? Let's start off pretty hot. Then we'll get cold. Then we'll get colder. Like the weather here. To start with, let's start with the thing that I played this week that I'll have a video coming out later on in the week. Far Cry 6 is having a free weekend. So I installed that onto the Xbox. I played it, I've been recording it, then I'm gonna compile an obviously compilation of all the funny moments I've had this far of horses barreling headfirst through trees and causing them to fly out of the ground at high velocity. It's been great.
I thought you were gonna say that. Then I'm gonna complain.
And then I'm gonna complain to OSHA because I don't think those horses are meant to do that.
I'm gonna bitch endlessly.
Right. They're probably breaking some rules and like regulations and other things like that. But yeah, been playing Far Cry 6, not for too long because it's only been available for the weekend, and it's only going to be available for the weekend, so I gotta really power through that to get all the funny moments that I can. But it's been fun so far. It's typical Far Cry affair. It's got decent gunplay, but it's not phenomenal. It's got some
Is it not?
Oh yeah. Got some fun little mechanics, but it's not phenomenal. It's like basically anything AJ Styles is, this game isn't, so that's kind of a detractor, but it's been fun nonetheless. Beyond Far Cry 6, I don't think I played anything new. I did pick up Fire Pro on Steam this week though, because that was like $5, and like, why not?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I'll be looking into doing stuff with that in the future as well. And then I watched a movie, a brand newish movie, and it was A Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
I have heard I was about to say I have heard astoundingly good things.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a favor with my mom to go and watch that, which means that I might have to go and watch Magic Mike tomorrow.
Magic Mike? There's another one of those?
Yeah, there's a new one.
There's three.
Okay, three's a lot less than I was anticipating. I thought we were up to like 4 or 5, but it's still a lot more than there should be.
I mean, like,
how many?
If they like, this is supposedly the last one, judging by the title. I hope that Kevin Nash is a recurring character. That's all I
believe. I don't know why he wasn't the main character.
His character is supposed to be the strip club's DILF, I believe.
Why wouldn't he be?
He is big sexy.
Exactly. The whole franchise would have been much better off had they centered around Kevin Nash, but no.
The best part of Kevin Nash being in those movies is that I saw the first one, and I was like, that sure was a movie, and then I learned that Kevin Nash was in it, and I went, I guess he was there, wasn't he? He just blends in too well. He moves too fast.
He strips too fast. Whew!
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh, daddy.
But no one else here has seen The Last Wish, have they?
No.
Not yet. I don't know if I'll ever get around to it.
That would be a shame if you don't, because it's a really good movie.
If I can do the stuff, then I should be able to see it next week.
Nice. Very nice.
Hopefully. If they don't remove it from circulation until then.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That would not be great.
But yeah, Pink.
I don't know if I really want to talk about it since none of you guys have seen it and or are going to see it. Because I will say that all the praise that you've heard it get, I think it's well deserved. It's definitely in my favorite movie, film, whatever you want to call it, of 2020. What year is this? 2023?
2020-3.
Right.
The third version.
Right.
The
More
third
or less,
expansion-
yes.
The third expansion released by Square for 2020.
No fucking shit. Feels like it. Damn.
Yeah, definitely my favorite movie of 2023 this far. Would have been my favorite 2022 had I seen it back in 2022, but that was not a thing. So, yeah, I've got nothing but praise for this film, much like the rest of the universe. So, very good. 2 thumbs up. Highly recommend it. Phenomenal characters in the film, much like AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Every character in the film that they have in a starring role is handled beautifully. I loved it. There's not a scene in that film that I feel like should have been cut or dragged on too long or went on too short. It was top to bottom just very, very well done. And oh man, that's like the chef's kiss of animated film right there.
Nice. Everywhere I look, I see death. It's become concerning.
Death is usually not something you want to see in your life, so I'm sorry, but
Trust me, those people posting about death, they disagree. Holy shit.
oh,
Oh no.
Yeah. I don't get it, but
yeah.
then I wouldn't.
it's like that old song said, "Don't fear the Reaper."
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say though, I've not yet heard the variant "Don't fuck the Reaper."
I was about to say, we're gonna need a new one called Don't Fuck the Reaper. Please.
Oh
Just
man,
Just put a Simlish version or anything to The Sims 5. Don't Woo the Reaper.
Seasons don't fuck the Reaper, nor do the wind, the sun, or the rain.
Uh,
I
Please
don't
have the
know that I've
skeleton.
got
Yeah.
anywhere to go from there. Honestly, it's like those are the two
Wait.
big things.
Make a music video for "Don't Fuck the Reaper," and in the background, Thanos and Deadpool are just protesting.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm gonna do it.
There was nothing else I did this week outside of those two things. I want to say.
How
It's
dare
very-
you?
Very lackadaisical. I did pick up Sid Meier's Civilization Beyond Earth because that was on sale as well for like $5, and the DLC on top of that equated to like 10 or 15. So I did pick up that game, which I had always heard like very, very, very mixed things regarding it. And up until very recently, I didn't hear like any good recommendations of it, but I figured whatever, I'll bite the bullet. I will try it out. It can't be that bad, and it's not bad at all. I didn't get very far into it because the UI is very, very tiny on my monitor because my monitor is very, very large. So I'm going to look into fixing that up so I can actually see and read the things that are on the screen.
Yeah.
But for now, I'd say it's like, well, it's a rather interesting take on the Civilization franchise. I like that they do I like that they did the whole Beyond Earth thing, and you can actually do a whole game of Civ 5 and then go straight into Beyond Earth. That's pretty cool. I think the
Wait. Did
go
your
ahead.
saves from Civ 5 can transfer over to Beyond Earth? Is that what you just said?
Yes. I
Why?
haven't tried it out myself because the last time I finished a game of Civ 5 was a couple months ago, and I don't think I have any save files that can be transferred over. I think I would have to play a whole game, and I kind of don't want to do that. Well, I could do that. I could just set it on quick mode and then go to space real quick. It'd be fine. That's doable. Yeah, I'll have to do that sometime this next couple of weeks. But unless
That's
I'm
it, boys. We're going to
mistaken-
space.
Yeah. Unless I'm mistaken, I'm pretty sure your finished game files from Civilization 5 can be transferred straight over to Civ Beyond Earth. And I'm not sure how that would work, but it does, I guess. We'll see. The only major takeaway that I was kind of let down on in Beyond Earth is that the quote unquote factions are kind of bland and they're lacking in any personality because you don't get to like have the funnies of hey, I get to play as Gandhi in space. It's like very lacking in identity. There,
Yeah.
unless I'm mistaken, there's no like real leaders that you can kind of visualize as you're in the menus. So that's it makes it feel rather empty, like the void of space should feel. But I'm not a fan. I would have liked a bit more personality injected into the series. But otherwise, it's all right. It's been the 5 minutes I spent with it. They've been good.
All right.
So that wraps up my week. Now we'll pass the baton off to either Alex or Etty, whoever wants to go next.
I think that's on you, Eddie. I think ordinarily
right.
it goes. Yeah.
Then Skyrim. I finished Skyrim.
Aha!
Do that.
I killed Alduin. I teamed up with the great dragon seer Party Snacks to
Oh,
defeat.
and did you also make the decision at a certain point of the Blades quest line? You know what? I'm not gonna do any more of these quests.
Yep.
Everyone does.
I think I made that choice about the 8th time that I had to do the escort mission.
Oh, do you know why most people stop doing the Blades quest line?
You have to kill Party Snacks.
Yeah.
You have
And
to
like
kill
that.
party snacks. What?
There's a dragon named Parthenax.
Oh, Parthenax.
He is a very cool old dragon voiced by Mario that is very helpful and just wants to help people and be a good dragon. But nonetheless, the primary good guy faction of the game, who tell you to do the majority of the main quest line, they say, no, the only good dragon is a dead dragon. We've used Parthenax for what he's worth. Now go kill him. And naturally, most people just stop the main quest line before that.
Ah.
Yeah, and like you can mod that out on PC. I've seen people mod it out on PC, but I played on PS4.
Well, because the great thing is, the way people mod it is they just make it so that when what's-her-face tells you, go kill Parthenax, the Dovahkiin then just says, no. Then it ends.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, there's also the thing of like, okay, mod it so that whenever you get to a certain point in the quest line, the blades are now non-essential, right?
Yeah.
So it becomes, hey, go kill Parthenax. We're sick of his old dragon ass. And the Dovahkiin just starts unsheathing.
Yeah. I also said that I wanted to make some of my followers blades because, you know, back in Oblivion, blades could just leave. Not in Skyrim. So the blades is 2 people strong in my game.
That's 2 people too many.
Yeah. But yeah, I had my funny stories which I posted in text, and that part was good. I fucked around with the graphics. Turns out, like, it's one of those things where like the improvements were like big but not noticeable, or how should I put this? Like they didn't break the game. They weren't out of place. So that's the point. I got used to how good the game looked with the mods. That I fucked around with the graphics more, and it turned the mods off. And I was like, this game looks like garbage.
Yeah.
Why would they use this lighting?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like,
Why
I'm in a
would
cave. I'm in a cave and I can see everything.
Uh-huh.
And from a gameplay standpoint, that's better because I actually I can see where I can go. But at the same time, I can put on my mood lighting and make it so it takes me like 20 minutes more to complete the dungeon because I'm dropping my dick on the walls. But it's a lot more moody. It actually looks like a fucking cave.
You gotta fuck them blue cave walls, brother.
Yeah. I didn't like how Ulfric Stormcloak got to go to Sovngarde. Because he didn't...
Well,
Yeah.
The issue is Ulfric is a shitty person. That doesn't change that he is the definition of a good Nord.
Is that
Like,
the
he's a
is that the way they go to Sovngarde?
I believe so.
Because I figured it was like Viking rules where they have to die with honor, which I denied Ulfric like tenfold.
I'm not for certain entirely what the rules of Sovngarde are, but I want to say they're more gentle than the actual real-world rules for getting to Valhalla were.
Because like whenever a game like this comes along and it gives me it gives me the option to interact with that sort of stuff, and it usually does it with a character I don't like. I just deny them heaven. Fuck it. If it's my choice, then I don't like you anyway.
There is something funny about just casually being like, I've decided today you don't get into heaven. What?
Yeah, like that's
it's a little bit. It's kind of beyond the pale.
But like there's also the thing of like usually they do this with characters who are like obviously assholes. Like Ulfric is arguable, at least. Like Ulfric is a better character than the other two that I can bring up from memory for similar mechanics. But there's also Dag, and I forget his name, from Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And in that one, they're the only two characters you can kill and deny Valhalla to. And I did both. Because one of them was an asshole who wanted to just prolong the war for war's reason, pretty much. And Dog can suck my dick in hell.
When you say dog, are you talking about...
Not dog. Dag. D-A-G.
Oh, okay.
Like a guy named Dog.
I was about to say, like, okay, I know some people have some issues with Dead Money's party members, but I don't remember anyone hating Dog that much. I would think Dean Domino offended more people.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's a guy in Dog who is a forced party member in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and his trick is that he's annoying, he hates you, and he lies constantly.
See, that's the thing. Being annoying is worse than being evil, right? If you could choose to deny Preston Garvey heaven, would you?
No. Honestly, genuinely no. I know people hate Preston Garvey. I was able to tell him to fuck off and he never contacted me again, so I was lucky.
Oh, fuck. Oh, that... Okay, I think that might be the podcast all right there. Would you deny Preston Garvey heaven?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So yeah. Speaking of, after finishing Skyrim, I actually had fun with Skyrim, so I went, hey, maybe I can mod Fallout 4 to be more fun too. Alright, I got the mods. I saw the craftable bear.
Craftable bear!
I got the mods that were, that I got the similar style of mods that I did in Skyrim, which is to say that it's more like immersion stuff, bug fixes, and like some cheat stuff on the side in case I will want to touch it, but not immediately. Like it is, cheat stuff that's in like a shack somewhere in the middle of the game instead of just you're dead or you're immortal. You cannot die immediately.
I'm just confused what bug fixes you're fixing, because that game is like completely bug free. How
I don't know. Have you looked at all of the red roaches, Pink?
There you go. I got you.
But yeah, like I did all of those download. I didn't find a good mod that worked like Skyrim, where it just made it can have more companions. There was one where you could You could pickpocket rings onto people and they would become companions through that, but that's a lot of setup.
Well, part of the thing is that companions in Fallout 4 are a lot more complex than companions in Skyrim.
Yeah, true.
Companions in Skyrim are kind of a joke. Like, we joke about Fallout companions being kind of just your slaves to go and kill things and carry shit for you. Skyrim companions are just straight up slaves to carry shit and kill things for you. They don't have personalities. Except for, like, Serana. And Argo. Those are the only two.
And Carjo also has a personality.
Yeah.
It's not much. Like,
maybe Noble Linus.
It's just the default stereotypical Khajiit, but you know.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I turned the game on, and it was just boring, even with mods.
Oh no!
So I played for like, I want to say, an hour, and then I deleted the game. I was like, with Skyrim, like I can like I have I can like in my head I have the exact reason of why I didn't enjoy Fallout 4 as much as I did Skyrim, but it's hard to put into words. But basically, Skyrim never pretends it has a main story. Skyrim is an intro cutscene, and then there are stories in the world, more or less. Fallout 4 is very, very interested in you finding Sean. I think that's the child's name, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fallout 4 is very interested in you finding your kid, and I'm not.
Oh, excuse me.
But yeah, so there's Fallout 4. I've been on an MMO kick lately, so I re-downloaded Destiny just to check it out. Yeah, just to check it out, because I was in the open, or I played the open beta of Destiny 1 or something like that. I forget, it's been a while. So, and yeah, they gave away Destiny 2 for free, then made it free for everyone, which is great.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I downloaded it. Apparently I already had a character from when it was free with PS Plus. I just logged into that, and boy, Destiny 2 has the worst onboarding. Because
what is onboarding?
Onboarding is getting people up to speed with your gameplay mechanics. So, like, you know, it's the tutorials telling you what you can and cannot do at your current level. It's the getting gear that actually helps you reach to a point where you can actually interact with the world, which is a problem with that in Destiny. It's just, you know, it's just like giving you knowledge on how the game works, more or less. And Destiny 2's onboarding is bad because it's a lot of pictures that you will skip because you don't want to read a lot of pictures with text on them. And
yeah,
what if that's exactly what I want to do?
Pink, I know you.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
I know who you are.
But yeah,
don't you lie to me.
So yeah, like the tutorial is like, if memory serves, the old-ish tutorial mission, which works because, you know, it was designed to be the tutorial. Then there's a lot of catching up you have to do between when the tutorial was made and where the game is now. So it's just a lot of pictures with text on them that you will skip. And then you can't even interact with the game, because if you try to hit people, then the base level for the trash mobs has been raised to a point where new characters don't deal damage, like, at all. It just says immune.
Wow.
Yeah. So
what if instead a little text thing had popped out and it just said "fuck you"?
Yeah. So there are Radiant, like, okay, I wanted to call them Radiant quests because I played Skyrim recently, but no, there are world events, is what they are called in MMOs, which are triggered by people in Destiny, they're usually triggered by GMs in other MMOs. But world events are just like, hey, here's this boss, or here's this wave of enemies that are supposedly hard to fight. Go kill them, and everyone gets pinged for this. That's that's in the vicinity or in the server, depending on the game, and depending on the event. But yeah, so people get pinged. They all go towards the place, and then you kill the things. You get experience. You get loot. I had to do this for an hour to get to a point where I can actually deal damage to enemies. Then, in the meantime, I was like, well, surely the game has quests, which it's an MMO. It has to have quests. It's not like, okay, it's a... Fuck. It's not a sandbox PvP MMO, so it has to have quests. And it does. It does. But the quests are not given out by people, which they used to be, because I remember getting a quest by a guy when I played it last time.
Okay.
But yeah, the quests are not given out by people anymore. They're just on the map, and then you can queue up for them. Alright, I try to queue up for a quest. Wait for 5 minutes, nothing. Cool. Alright, I guess I'll go back to farming the world events that people can trigger. I did that for a bit, on like 4 different maps, and then I finally actually got into a mission. I had to wait for, I want to say 7 or so minutes before the game was like, okay, fuck it, you're not getting teammates. Here's this mission balanced for 3 people. Fight it alone.
Nice.
Alright, I got through half of the mission. Alone. Then the game actually found me teammates. And
Nice.
That was nice.
yeah. And one of them, like, the matchmaking was great because there was me at level 2 or level 3 at most from just leveling up during the world events. Then my teammates were a level 1 and a level 66. I wonder who actually did stuff. You
did.
No, the level 66. Well, no, all 3 of us. It's just the level 1 they couldn't really damage people because, as I've said, immune. And the level 66 actually like could do stuff. I pulled my weight because I whatchamacallit, I grinded enough to actually unlock the luxury of dealing damage.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, you know, levels, like, the thing with all this is that the levels don't really say much, aside from how much you've been playing the game, or how long you've spent on that character, because your attacks, your damage, are decided not by levels, but by your gear score.
Yeah.
And this is the problem here, because with my character had the base stuff you get, which is 0 gear score, and I also got a like thing to catch me up because even when I first played Destiny 2, it was by the point that they removed the first expansion or something like that. Maybe more.
That is so fucking stupid every time I hear it.
Yeah. So they had to somehow catch me up to the base level, the new base level of the game. Alright. So the gear score that I got from the stuff that they gave me to catch me up was under the gear score of what the game is now. Which is why everything was immune. So basically, Destiny doesn't want you to start playing Destiny.
No. It wants you to already be playing it.
Yeah. that or spend money to
Forehead?
Yeah. That or spend money to catch up, which fuck that. So yeah, like after a couple of hours of playing Destiny, I uninstalled it because it takes up 80 gigs, if not more.
Nice.
Actually more.
Fucking nice.
It's a lot of gigs.
Like, I had to download the game, which was 24 gigs, I want to say. And then I had to download 3 compatibility packs, which are, I'm sure, actually just the expansions renamed. the ones that they removed. But those compatibility packs were 27, 25, and 19 gigs, respectively. So yeah, roughly 80, 90 gigs. And yeah, like I downloaded it. I gave it a chance. I had whatever fun I could with this onboarding experience. But I'm not gonna just dedicate 80 to 90 gigs of my hard drive space to Destiny, so that I can sometimes pop on and just shoot shit. But yeah. Then. Oh, did I play anything else? I don't think so. Well, there's something that's spoilers, which is why I'm avoiding it until the end of my week, I guess. Well, I did I did embark on a slightly longer, I guess, art thing, and for no real reason other than to try and learn how to do this, I made a reference sheet, which I'm assuming y'all know what a reference sheet is.
No.
It is a drawing of a character from multiple viewpoints, and also the things that you want to point out, like different what's the word, expressions, if those change things on the character, and like that's that sort of stuff. Like if you want a reference for yourself for the future to keep things on model, or if you want to commission other people, you need to make these.
Yeah.
And so I made one because I'll need to make I'll legitimately need to make reference sheets for the 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 anime that's never coming out that I'm working on. So I need experience drawing reference sheets. I've been working on that thing for like 8 years now. And it's like there's shit that's developed in my head, but I haven't put it down yet. I need to make like 4 Bibles. Because I have stuff developed in my head.
Wasn't one world changing enough?
Yeah. But yeah, like what was I gonna say? Yeah, like the thing with that is that like I don't work on it actively a whole lot because I don't expect it to actually ever see the light of day. So like why? It's not really an IP that I can sell just based off of the premise. And like otherwise, I wouldn't be doing like I wouldn't be making a whole fucking animation series alone, you know? But yeah, I guess I'll post the reference sheet in Watchtower. It's not like y'all get any use out of it, but I guess you can give me some pointers.
Neat.
Thank you.
Indeed.
I don't know if the frame is confusing or not, because it feels like I'm a bit much. But yeah, so there's that. Then I also read the first chapter of JoJo Part 9. If you want to read JoJo Part 9, skip 30 minutes. That's the most I think this will take. So JoJo Part 9 released. It follows your new protagonist Jodio.
Yeah.
Pink. For reference, in JoJo, all of the protagonists' names start with Joe. Dio was one of the antagonists of the series. Alright, Pink's dead.
I'm trying to comprehend. All the protagonists are named Joe.
but not some sort of Joe. So like one of them is Joseph, the other one is Jotaro, another one is Jolene.
Okay, so they all start with a Joe,
Yeah.
and then the antagonist is Dio, but only a
Yes.
single Dio.
Yes. Like named after Rodney James.
Ronnie James Dio?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
And now we've got Joe Dio.
yes. And I could like I could make this very confusing. I just realized I won't.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Like I could make this a lot more confusing. It is what I'm trying to say. Because I just realized some of the like long form storytelling that's done with that name, but like it's a very like it's very like in quotation marks long form storytelling. It's very dumb.
I see.
But yeah, the Jodio. Jodio is a 15-year-old shit kid. He sells drugs. He gets into fights.
I love drugs.
He has the girls. He's all about the mechanic or the mechanism. That's what he calls it. The mechanism.
The mechanism
mechanism?
of what? Crack?
The mechanism. That's all.
Oh, I see.
That's all. That is the buzzword of this part.
The memes.
Yeah, no, like the character is introduced like the entire first chapter is just him selling those or putting over the mechanism. Never explaining what the mechanism is. It's just the mechanism allows me to get a lot of money and all of the girls.
I see.
So yeah, like the mechanism of what we don't know probably stands.
Which doesn't make sense to add pink either.
Yeah,
The fuck is this thing?
it's the thing you put hats on.
See.
But yeah, there's also some interesting characters. Is the best way I can put it, because it's some of these characters are not well explained just yet. They will probably be explained better as the series goes on. One of the other protagonists is Dragona, a possibly trans character.
Ah.
So this is where it gets confusing, because Dragona presents as female. Jodio calls them male. Calls them his brother and refers to them as he. Dragona never calls this out. So we don't know if Dragona is supposed to be trans either which way, or if they're in drag, or what. And hopefully Araki actually like expands on this, because could be cool. But you know, like yeah. There's also some bits of how Araki, like a lot of JoJo was published in Shonen Jump, which meant that it had a like an age rating of teenage. So Araki couldn't do things much worse than kicking a dog.
And boy, were the dogs kicked.
Yeah. JoJo part 8 and part 9 are published monthly in a young adult, or I don't even know what it would be called, but it's like, you know, it's a higher age rating magazine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
JoJo part 9 starts with Dragona getting sexually assaulted by a cop.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. That was rough.
He's got a keen interest in what's going on in current political events, huh?
Seems like it. So yeah. Anything else to point out? The story seems to be a heist story, which seems cool. I like those.
I
could be
enjoy
fun.
a good heist. Yeah.
And some of the new stands names are great. I'm gonna try and open up the part so that I can look at it. Because they introduce the stands of all of the characters, which stands being for, this is not a joke explanation. Stands are superpowers, pretty
Punch
much.
Ghost.
Yeah, well, not all of them are punch ghosts. They're superpowers. Some of them become punch ghosts.
I see.
Like the longer you're into the series, the less punch ghosts they are. But they still exist. So yeah, one of the Jodio's stand is called November Rain.
I like it.
Dragonas is smooth operators, and they just rip shit apart. They're very small robots.
I like it.
And then the third one is the guy can make his muscles. Like he can move his muscles like they were arms, pretty much. And that one's called the Hustle.
All right then.
And I will send it to y'all in a picture if Discord complies.
But where is it being sent to? Where
General
should I be
voice
looking?
text chat.
General voice text. Okay. Oh my.
Yeah.
I don't remember how to read manga. It's
Right to left.
Right to left,
Top to
bottom to
bottom.
top,
Top to bottom.
top to bottom. Those are some smooth operators right there.
Yeah. There's also the thing of from what Jodio says, Dragona might have, because Dragona is completely presenting as female. Like they even have breasts. According to Jodio, or it is implied that Dragona might have used their stand to achieve that. Which I guess that's an explanation, Rocky. Dragona might also actually, like, I kind of hope Dragona is actually like a trans character, just because a lot of people were hoping for Anasui to be trans, because Anasui's power was just like changing his body however he felt like it. But Anasui was too creepy. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I didn't like Anasui. And he was also a guy. Like, he also presented and was fine with being called a guy for most of the parts, so it seemed like he wasn't. But yeah, anyway. That's JoJo.
Yeah.
Alright, did I do anything else? I don't believe so. So W.
Hey. Ooh, all right. I've been putting time into the same old, really. Total War Warhammer and Mortal Kombat 11. I'm working through Melina's character towers so that I can get the nice version of her that has no mask.
Yes, the one from my Armageddon. the secret art.
That's Deception.
Alright, then the one in Deception.
Also, she is wearing a mask there. It's another part of her attire that she's missing there.
Ah.
I think people would be much less interested in that art if she was minus a mask. Especially because in Deception she had massive teeth. And I nearly said something else was massive there. Anyways.
Oh,
Her depth. Her crippling student depth.
Yeah. Depth? Did you say depth?
I don't know.
The B in dead is silent.
Ah.
Oh boy. Yeah, put time into Mortal Kombat 11 doing that. Played Mortal Kombat 11 with Addy after FGA. Put some
Oh,
time into Total War Warhammer still. Starting to feel like I'm getting my mojo back. As the weather goes back to warm, I feel like I'm getting my mojo back.
ah.
Yes. That's my superpower. My strength is relative to the heat.
You're slightly above average, man.
For the moment, is why they can never handle me down in Florida.
Yeah.
He'd become too powerful.
Yeah. Alright. I actually was, while we were doing this podcast, playing some Total War Warhammer and having a good time. I had to cut that one short, though, because at some point I'm going to have to play a Total War Warhammer campaign where you get put up against a really big threat and just keep going. But I feel like I'm just getting warmed back up.
Yeah.
Either which way, they did announce we're re-entering the DLC cycle for Total War Warhammer. I am sorry. That means I will talk about the game some. Thankfully I have my own YouTube channel to do the majority of the talking, so I will shut up eventually. But they're going to be doing Chaos Dwarfs. They showed a little bit at the end of the most recent, patch update video. They showed a Chaos Dwarf slave mine, and they showed a Chaos Dwarf's hand holding out a staff. And that is going to be cool, because Chaos Dwarfs are one of the more unique parts of the Warhammer setting. Though they're discreetly just kind of like if Isengard was dwarfs instead of orcs, but shut up, though.
When Samurai.
So that's good. I'm sorry, what?
When Samurai.
Almost certainly never. The Crib Assembly has pretty well said being able to do Cathay at all was a massive leap forward with Games Workshop's support. And they're not saying never, ever, never, ever, never for Araby, Nippon, and Koresh. But at one point, the community manager did speak out of turn and say, never, ever, never, ever, never. And then another community manager corrected her saying, no, just probably not. Because you don't say never, ever, never, ever, never, ever, never, even if the actual answer is never, ever, never, ever, never, ever, never in PR speak.
Yeah.
Right.
With that said, there is a mod team working on Nippon, though. And Crib Assembly does intend to expand the map further out east. So currently, Ind and Koresh, which are, of course, the Warhammer equivalents of India and Southeast Asia, right now exist on the Warhammer map. They are physically extant. You can sail around them, but you cannot actually enter them. Both have been turned into massive impenetrable forests that are also surrounded on most sides by mountain ridges and impassable coastline. However, Crib Assembly has, they haven't directly said it, but they have very, very strongly teased, yeah, we're going to flesh those out at some point. Probably also going to expand the map a little further east to add the islands of Nippon. So, cool. Either which way, that's the extent of the Total War Warhammer talk. Go ahead and get over that real quick. And I also watched last night's SmackDown, and tonight is Elimination Chamber, which is, and by the way, gotta go ahead and mention that if we do play games today, we cannot keep going infinitely tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, SmackDown, last night, there was, let's see, Natalya and Shotzi versus Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey. And everyone except Shayna in that match seemed like they were in a race to kill themselves. Just lots of stupid bumps. Natalya, you can see where Natalya actually puts more thought into her matches than most wrestlers do. Just by nature of, they plan to have a spot where Shotzi does the dive from the top turnbuckle to the ringside, where Ronda and Shayna would, take her, catch her, but, they pretend it's not catching. That she hits them with the sheer force of her.
Yeah.
The moment she takes off from that turnbuckle, she's entered supersonic fucking speed and impacts them enough to kill them. Either which way, rather than just having Ronda and Shayna stand there to catch her like a couple of lemmings, Natalya actually set it up for it. Natalya knocked both Shayna and Ronda over on the ringside, then propped them up and left them in place to get hit by Shotzi. So, good on you, Natalya. You took a stupid spot and made it look considerably less stupid.
You made it logical. How dare you?
And Ronda really did not like everybody dunking on her terrible apron DDT spot from Survivor Series. So her and Shotzi did the spot again, but worse in some ways. I mean,
oh, that's impressive.
So Ronda actually did take. Okay. So when I say worse, I don't mean like low quality worse. I mean worse as in it was a dumber bump. It actually worked this time, but it was a stupid bump. Because before it was more or less, memory serves, a classic apron DDT. This time it was a springboard apron DDT. Shotzi grabbed onto Ronda was on the apron. Ronda was on the apron. Shotzi was in the ring. Shotzi grabs Ronda's arm like she's going in for an arm wrench, then climbs to the top rope and kind of tightrope walks on the top rope, and then jumps all the way from the top rope to the ringside, which must be a fucking knee exploder if there ever was one.
Yeah.
And it happened so quick you couldn't even see whether or not Shotzi even vaguely touched Ronda's head. But Ronda nonetheless took the most fucking brutal RVD bump I've seen in a long time. I mean, it was honestly like, when you hear of head over heels, it almost imagine a video game animation of someone doing an RVD bump, but you skip the middle parts of the frame of the animation, the middle frames. It happened so quick, it was like Ronda immediately went from standing straight up to standing on her head. And she did not really bother to cushion herself, nor did Shotzi bother to cushion her. It was just kind of like Ronda was so offended by people complaining about the Survivor Series spot that she said she was going to kill herself to redeem herself.
That's fine with me.
And it's like, Ronda, you don't understand. You can't redeem yourself right now. You are in that John Cena spot of people don't like you because they think management is unfairly biased in your favor. And there's nothing you can do to undo that except have a job streak.
Yeah.
Or go away for a year.
Even better. Make it 2. Maybe even 3. Maybe don't get back at all.
Either which way, Natty and Shotzi actually did work. The fans were very much behind them. I think the Montreal fans were more than a little bit horny for Shotzi, though.
I believe it.
But there was a lot of babyface cheers and all that. It felt like an actually fun tag team match where people were really rooting for Natty and Shotzi to win, and then they didn't. Whatever, I guess.
Yeah.
They had a segment. They showed the thing that was uploaded to Twitter last week of Santos and Ray's backstage segment. Which, Pink, did you see that?
Yes. Where they exchanged their little hats. Or masks, rather.
Yeah, they exchange hats. The hats they put on top of the masks.
Mysterio came out in his Filthy Animals gear.
Oh, no.
Addy, to fill you in on it, Santos is a rudo. He is such a dishonorable scumbag, he unmasked himself. You don't do that, right?
Yeah.
And he had a segment with Ray where he was saying to Ray, you know, my dad, when he was wrestling, he pointed you out to me and he said, you're going to be the future. And I looked at you and I decided I was going to beat you and I was going to steal your legacy. But now that I've met you, man, I can't help but respect you. And so he gives Ray his old Hijo de la Phantom. Help me here, Pink. Fantasma, there we go. Hijo del Fantasma mask. And then Ray hands him one of the old Ray masks and says, Don't take my legacy, build your own.
Nice.
Very nice little baby face, very nice face turn spot, because it did a rare thing where the heel turning face actually still acknowledges, I still want to be a heel, but I'm feeling like I shouldn't be this shitty of a person.
Yeah.
right? Like, I still want to whoop your ass and say that build my career on whooping your ass, but I'm kind of feeling like I shouldn't. Nice spot.
Yeah.
And then they had Karrion Kross come and tell Rey Mysterio that seeing Dominic convinced him not to have children.
Nice. Considering it's Karrion Kross, good.
Like, I like the. Like, on one hand, I have to wonder how it is for Dominic. Like, is he embarrassed that his gimmick now for everybody is that he's this fucking dork, twerp loser who can't do anything right? Or is he playing into it and having a good time? Because every time I see Dominic, it looks like Dominic's playing into it.
Yeah.
Like, Dominic's having the time of his fucking life as a heel. I hate to say it because he's Dominic, but man, my opinion is turning on Dominic the more he's just a shit heel who doesn't wrestle, right?
Yeah. He
Like, I
found
actually
his
am really
niche.
liking Dominic as the annoying little piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Ray needs a big win, and then for Dom to come out on the stage and go like, congrats. But you know, my real dad isn't up there in the ring. He's down there. Just recycle the Randy Orton promo.
No! Then Conan gets mad.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. They had a match, Asuka versus Liv, right? Because they're both in the women's chamber this year.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But then Carmella comes out to sit at commentary.
Oh no.
Carmella's actually pretty good at it, but her husband's like the second best commentator in the company, maybe third, depending on where you place him, Pat. So, cheating. Talent isn't necessarily sexually transmissible, but
But maybe it can be.
a little bit of
Some
it. You know,
cases.
he pumped the commentary prowess right into her.
I mean, didn't someone do the maths that com transmits they out like fucking 5 million bits per second? So
That I think technically that's right, but not in the way you're thinking. It would be great if that was the way it worked. So it's like, we need to get Stephen Hawking laid constantly.
yeah.
Filing the girls. What's that? The old reverse bimboification thing that was popular 10 years ago.
What?
I know
Addie's gonna know
of
what I'm
this.
talking
Yeah,
about.
I know of this, but I don't remember exactly what it was.
Back before that was known to be a fetish.
Yeah.
It was this kind of crappy, patronizing piece of art, Pink, about like it was honestly like almost like an evolutionary stage drawing, like when you see those drawings of a monkey walking and then it slowly grows up into a human.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was like that, but it was this woman with spray tan skin, blonde hair, humongous boobs, and a very small pink dress, and walking in high heels. And then she sees a book in front of her. She bends down, picks it up, and she suddenly turns into a much more subdued, pale white, brunette-haired, small-chested nerd in a sweater vest. And it was supposed to be like this statement about like, don't be a pardon my French, slut. Be a real woman or something like that, right?
Right.
Oh, I'm just imagining that middle stage, instead of picking up the book, it's just Stephen Hawking's house. He just walks in. Anyways, yeah, there we go. Carmella was on commentary. She started just going nuts and having fun with it. And I'm not going to lie, while I'm not super big on Carmella, I was thinking like, Carmella may be better off retiring and commentating some stuff.
I mean, you know, let's be
They've
fair.
not had a female commentator. They've not had a female commentator since Renee Young, Renee Paquette, whichever jumped to AEW, right?
Incorrect, because Beth Phoenix does commentary on NXT.
What?
Or at
I thought
least it
NXT
did periodically.
I thought NXT was the Irish guy in Book.
It is now, but throughout most of 2020 and up until the big commentary shakeups, Beth Phoenix would appear on NXT as a color comment, not color, but as a fellow commentator quite frequently.
Ah. Yeah, we usually don't get the out and out color commentator play by play split so much nowadays. I think that
Yeah.
was part of what made Cole and Pat strong as a team, though, was because they did kind of fit into that. Pat could be the color one while Cole was the play by play.
Yeah.
Whereas with Wade and Cole right now, it just kind of feels like Cole's having to carry both jobs.
Ah,
They only put Wade there because they're waiting for Pat to finish up his NFL stint.
Yeah.
Once he's back, Barrett's going back to NXT or something.
Well, the best commentary team we get
for
right.
Nexus.
The best commentary team is where we can get Cole, Pat, and Corey all in the booth, right? Because then
Yeah.
Corey gets to go full heel.
Yeah.
Like I love just anytime we do get the contrast of when, like, back when they had Pat there constantly. So Cole and Pat on SmackDown is great because they're two commentators who, you know, love each other and get along really well. So it's like late stage Gorilla and Brain.
Right.
And then you'd have the pay-per-views where it's Cole and Corey together and they hate each other. So it's early stage Gorilla and Brain.
Right.
Oh, man. Either which way, yeah, Carmelo was fun on commentary, and whoever booked this was just like, hey, what if all the women in the Elimination Chamber spot charge the fucking ring? Or not charge the ring, start just showing up at ringside? So Raquel just walks out in the middle of the match just to go over and mess with Carmella at commentary. Then Nikki Cross just appears. She just
Yes, she does.
Let's just go watch. She does the Undertaker spot.
Like, Nikki Cross, I have to assume she's, like, hiding under the commentary desk or something, but she just appears between Cole and Wade and just immediately, like, starts going nuts, frizzing Wade's hair, and then going over and kissing Cole on top of the head, like, 7 or 8 times, going nuts. She steals Cole's glasses from him. She sits in Wade's lap for a minute, then climbs up on the desk and sits in front of Wade's monitor. And the great thing is, she kept doing that even when the camera wasn't on her. Because you'd sometimes hear Cole or Wade trying to commentate, and it would be, oh, Liv going for the... Yes, Nikki, I see it. I see Nikki. At one point, Cole says, this is like trying to commentate with Jamie Noble's pet raccoon. Cole has just been so great ever since they let him off the leash.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. And then Natty popped up at some point. They didn't even show when she showed up. And of course, the match ends. Asuka wins it after Liv did like 5 code breakers.
Take that, Jericho.
Liv ordinarily does
if you want to insult Jericho, then do the fucking Judas effect.
Oh God!
Fucking back elbow.
Well, doesn't Andrade just do that as a regular move all the time?
And better, yes.
Well, and better, yes, because Jericho just kind of lazily turns around slowly and taps them on the face with the elbow, whereas Andrade, I've seen throw some stiff fucking reverse back elbows.
he gets all the momentum into those bad boys.
Like, the animation for it in the WWE games is brutal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, I don't know what it is with AEW people and naming moves cooler stuff than they deserve to be named. Why did we have to waste the One Winged Angel name? Why did we have to waste the Judas effect? I mean, fuck, the Judas effect could have been a good name for the backstabber.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, Jericho already does the front stabber. Do you want him to do the backstabber too?
Sure. Not any less lazy, but you know.
Yeah. Oh boy. Either which way, yeah.
Jericho's new finish should be the finger poke of doom.
He would
agree.
love that.
He'd agree.
He would love that. Asuka wins, but then Carmella charges the ring and super kicks Asuka. But then Natty gets in and discus clotheslines Carmella. I love how they can never decide how powerful Natty's discus clothesline is supposed to be. Sometimes she just does it as a regular move, sometimes she finishes. Sometimes it's a finish.
It's like when you play the WWE games and you're on the outside and you can't use your sharpshooter on the outside because the missions obviously don't count out there. So they have to use default finishing move, which is the discus clothesline. So now it's got more power than normal. Still the same move, but in this certain circumstance, it has to add more power to it.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know that moves do 5+ damage on the outside.
Well, the great thing is, any wrestler who's older than the 90s, the out-of-the-ring finisher you always have to pick for them if they can't do their in-ring finisher is always pile driver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, yeah, pile driver would hurt more outside the ring, but nonetheless. Let's see. Nikki charges into the ring, does the weird swinging neck breaker. She needs a different finish. Raquel comes in and just hoists her up and power bombs the fuck out of her because she's Nikki Cross. She's tinier than a fucking mouse. Asuka gets back up, and I don't even remember what. No, that wasn't it. Asuka didn't get back up. Raquel picks Liv up because Liv's her tag partner, and they're like, "Yeah, it's so good to be friends with you, Liv." And then Liv code breakers her. I'd like to say heel swerve, but that would be, not only would that be too funny, but also, good God, Liv's a heel. No. And then they just end with Asuka getting out of the ring and her and Liv looking at each other, because there's only two people who obviously are in the contendership of winning this match.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, Carmelo's, I think, the worst example out of the six of just being there to fill a slot. Because, like, it's Carmella.
Mm-hmm.
She's been gone pretty well for the last year. And don't get me wrong, a big part of why she was gone is a good reason to take a vacation.
Right.
But she was barely relevant a year ago before she left.
Yep.
Either which way, they had Gunther versus Moss. That's got to be Gunther's shortest match yet. Moss, credit where credit is due, they did work the match around what should logically be the thing. Moss is faster, he's more explosive, he's more energetic. So the early goings of the match, Moss was just running wild on Gunther. And Moss, was doing pretty good until Gunther was able to successfully slow him down with a few sleeper hold attempts. And once they slowed it down, then Moss was getting beat.
Moss lost the match?
I'm not even going to acknowledge that. So, they, at one point, because there was only 30 minutes left of the show, and they still hadn't... there was only actually 20 minutes left of the show, and they hadn't brought Sammy out for his promo yet. So the fans start going, ole, 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 ole. And Gunther takes that signal, okay, take her home. So Gunther hoists Moss up and powerbombs the fuck out of him like he wasn't the giant that he is. Boy, Gunther's been crazier ever since he got skinny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, solid match. Solid match. Moss is still an underrated talent.
Absolutely.
Moss actually did at one point hit his finish, and Gunther, credit where credit is due, I think it was actually Barrett. Barrett, keeping track, actually pointed out Gunther is the first man to kick out of Moss's finish. There you go. There's one more title to add to Gunther's illustrious record. They're going to remember that in 30 years.
Yeah, first man to kick out of Madcap Moss's finish. That's going to be an impressive feat. Surely earns him a spot in the Hall of Fame. I mean, like, I'd say already at this point.
Oh, yeah.
You know how many people kicked out of Moss's finish? Up until last night, it was 0.
Yeah.
Gunther did it. He did the impossible. Put that man in Hall of Fame right now. Don't even wait for the WrestleMania induction ceremony. Put him in right now.
And after he kicked out, it was like when Lesnar beat Taker, just silence all over the arena.
Exactly.
Either which way, for the last bit, they have Sammy come out, and my God. Sammy comes out to his old theme. He comes out to Worlds Apart. And it sounds quite good. And the crowd, you can't really hear it too well, though, because the crowd goes nuts. I mean, fucking nuts. Because they're in Montreal, and Sammy is the most over person in the company. I need to go ahead and bring something up. Pink, do you remember this from a year ago? You remember you and me and Pink, you and me and Mike sitting around? I think you and Mike were playing Dead by Daylight. I was just playing some other game. I was playing 2K22. And you remember I pointed out to you and Mike, and we all laughed, that my universe's WrestleMania 38 main event was Rey Mysterio versus Sami Zayn.
Uh-huh.
And we all laughed and went, wow, that's the worst WrestleMania main event ever.
Uh-huh.
It's like, I have this power. I can talk about celebrities and it kills them. Because, my God, I killed the shit out of Jerry Jarrett last week. NSA agent, I did not literally kill Jerry Jarrett. But there's a thing in my family, and it doesn't get brought up as much on the Discord here because you guys haven't been able to observe it so much. I have a special thing. Whenever I talk about celebrities who are usually not too relevant, they usually die the next week. I don't believe in the supernatural, but if I did, then I would think God thinks that's very, very funny. Because we did this whole, we watched a shitload of old Memphis wrestling a week ago. And, of course, there was a lot of talk about Jerry Jarrett, because how can you do Memphis and not talk about Jerry Jarrett?
Mm-hmm.
And sadly, I failed to kill Jerry Lawler. Nonetheless, Jerry
Jarrett.
You need to talk about him more. You need to talk about him more.
Yeah. Oh, well, my mom's already...
Wait, but actually, funnily enough, Jerry Lawler did almost die a couple weeks ago, so that is kind of ironic.
I need to do it harder.
Exactly.
It's one of those things where I feel for Lawler for his son, because his son, what happened with Ryan Christopher was a thing. It's unresolved. Is the thing. So I feel for him there. He's still a fucking creep. and at the least he's a creep.
And one of the single most overrated wrestlers in history.
Yeah.
I pointed this out on the I pointed this out on the Discord the other day. He was a draw in Memphis because he booked himself to win every goddamn match. He booked himself to bury the other talent, not just in the ring, but on the fucking mic. When he was commentating on his own show that he was wrestling on, when he was going and doing those segments in between with, whoever it was, Jerry Black or something, I don't remember those guys' names.
Yeah.
He would talk about how the other wrestlers were all boring. Or specifically yeah, this guy's boring. Pfft, I'd rather watch grass grow. And it's it's easy to be the top draw when you're saying everybody else here sucks and is boring. He would bring in the top talents from across the country to bury them. The only guys he wouldn't bury are the guys who actually had to stick around, like Dutch, or Bill Dundee, or the Jarretts. Ugh. Oh, boy. Either which way, yeah, I accidentally killed Jerry Jarrett and gave Jerry Lawler a stroke. My mom said that I have been talking about You have been talking a lot about Kanye West lately, haven't you? No, not really. You have been talking a lot about Kanye West lately, haven't you?
I mean, it wouldn't work. Their name is Ye.
That's true. I need. It's like summoning a demon. I need to know the true name.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention.
Never mind. Bad joke.
I forgot to mention they did put a Jerry Jarrett tribute at the start of SmackDown. That was cool.
Ah, yeah, nice.
And I'll get this in just to pop Pink because I know it will. Cooler than his son.
Oh, definitely.
There we go. Yeah, Sammy comes out and the fans just lose it,
Yeah.
right?
The
And it's
universe erupts.
I heard he called Roman Tabernacle.
Sammy gets in the ring, and for 5 straight minutes, Sammy can't talk because the crowd won't stop chanting.
Nice.
And they go through every single chant you can imagine. Like, of course, the classic you gotta start with Sammy is...
Hey, goodbye.
You can't wrestle.
Eugene.
Goldberg.
Joey's gonna kill you.
Let's go, Cena. Cena sucks. Super Dragon. Shut the fuck up, Super Dragon. Shut the fuck up. Man, I didn't know that in that match, Super Dragon himself got out of the ring and hopped the rail to go tell that guy to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Yeah, they hit them all. Ole. You deserve this. Sammy, all this,
Yeah. Legendary chants filled Montreal.
I mean, that is what the ole chant is for. At one point, they actually had to cut out the audio. Me and my family, we thought that, the feed ran out for a little bit. No, they had to cut the audio for, a straight 10 seconds. Because the Montreal crowd, being the Montreal crowd, was chanting, "Fuck you, Roman." Oh boy, we are in for a fucking big one tonight, huh, Pink?
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
Oh man, the decade has just yet begun, but this may be match of the decade. Nonetheless. Yeah. Yeah, after 5 straight minutes of that, and Sammy is crying, naturally, as you would. Sammy recognizes, okay, we still gotta meet time slots. I'm gonna make it short and sweet. And he makes it short and sweet. I love you all. I'm glad to be here. I'm gonna beat Roman's ass. And then he says a couple things in Quebecois.
Yeah.
Which, of course, it's the Montreal audience. The Montreal audience is like, yeah.
He said something along the lines of, it may be or you may be the chief or something like that, but this is my house, you motherfucker. The tabernacle is fucker.
Oh, that is a good one. That's good. That's funny though, because they have to censor it in Canada, but they won't censor it down here because down here it didn't get censored.
Yeah.
Kind of like for how long Raquel was able to get away with having her finish be named the Chingona Bomb. Before eventually someone caught on and said, "Can you rename that?" They caught on to Shinsuke immediately, though. Did Shinsuke ever get to call it the Bomaye?
No.
Indeed. Okay, they immediately told him, okay, change that shit.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, tonight is going to be... Oof. I mean, this is going to be my first Elimination Chamber. I should go ahead and mention that. How are the chamber matches generally, Pink?
This is your first one? That's crazy.
Well, I didn't ever have the network up until the first
you didn't pirate it? I know you better than that. You were definitely pirating.
The only pay-per-view I got the network for Money in the Bank 2022, and I've seen the pay-per-view since then. But my first, which this is also going to be my first WrestleMania on the network, but it will not be my first WrestleMania in general because the only pay-per-view I ever ordered was WrestleMania 28, which was a
We both
bad
watched
WrestleMania to
that
start with.
in the past. Yes, I remember that. I remember that.
This is a funny get up then, because I've seen pay-per-views by virtue of them not being pay-per-views over here. Because it was they were distributed a month later, if memory serves, than what they were actually, because they had to dub them over. Yeah, yes, wrestling was dubbed over here, but
That's great.
but yeah, they had to dub them over. So pay-per-views were just special events that ran on Sundays. So I saw a lot of I saw a lot of 2011 and like 2011 through 2013. I want to say pay-per-views.
Nice.
The height of CM Punk's career.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is why I love him so.
I would disagree.
The best part is off recording I mentioned it to y'all, but I talked with another guy in a different place about wrestling, and our tastes were very different, but we agreed CM Punk sucks. So that was cool. that's the
Does he suck, though?
that's the
Like, what kind of candies?
licorice.
Oh, he is a terrible person.
And that's the universal constant. CM Punk is bad.
Eh. Well, I guarantee you, considering this guy who he is, I'm going to say he doesn't like Punk. He dislikes Punk for different reasons than you.
I mean, yeah, but you know, at least on the surface, I can say, hey, we both dislike Punk.
Yeah.
It's something. It's not much, but it's something. But yeah.
Back to the original question, though. Me personally, I freaking love the Elimination Chambers. I'm heavily biased because there can be some pretty bad ones. I'll admit that, but for the most part, they're usually very similar to the Money in the Banks, where there's a lot of spots that they have set up and they want to execute with the precision that only the WWE can offer, and it usually goes very well. There's not usually a lot of missed spots in the chamber because there's a lot less opportunity for a ladder to go off balance or buckle. So
Yeah.
there's less train wreck spots. But there's also less spots in general because there's only so much you can do with the chamber. Because it is a very stagnant object and obstacle. But all in all, outside of the chaos that it provides, similar to Money in the Bank, it's always fun for me personally because if it's hard to decipher who they're wanting to exit the chamber as a winner, it's a really exciting thing to have like 6 individuals in a match and then watch as one by one they're all eliminated until now you've only got like, let's say, 4 options of who could walk out of this chamber possibly. Okay, now we're down to 2 people. Who of these 2 are in the cards for WrestleMania? Honestly. And that's sometimes harder to decipher than normal. With tonight's match, I don't remember what all is on the line because we've got the women who are competing for a shot against Bianca Belair.
And the men's match is for the U.S. belt.
And the men's match is for the U.S. belt. And if Austin Theory loses, I'd like for him to be the first one eliminated because when the champ is the first to be eliminated, then that opens up a whole plethora of opportunity there. And that's always fun to watch as well.
I'm going to look up the card real quick because I don't even remember who's in the men's chamber match.
Rollins,
Rollins, Gargano, Damian Priest, Montez Ford, and Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed?
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting choice. Maybe they're wanting to throw somebody through the pod doors because otherwise I don't see what he really offers or brings to the table outside of
Bronson Reed. I'm gonna take a guess because they probably want to try and build Bronson Reed as a monster because he was a monster over in New Japan when they took him.
Right.
In which case, he could be the house cleaner.
Yeah.
Right? He'll kill Gargano, he'll kill Montez, he'll kill Damian, and then Seth will kill him. Right?
Right.
Now, with that said, I would absolutely, even though there's no build here, and this probably wouldn't work for the majority of people. Well, the Montreal audience is one of the more smart audiences, so they might actually pop for this. But I would love for Gargano to get a Zack Ryder-esque win from underneath here.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'd really prefer that Theory just hold on to the belt.
I love Theory. I don't know that I'd want him to hold on to the belt because I feel that would devalue the Chamber because we've had so many. It's in a tough spot because it is so close to Mania, and they really need to fix that. But I always hate when they have the champion retain because the Elimination Chamber is supposed to be this terrible, grueling structure of demonic violence that nobody should survive, and then we have champions retaining like every year. So
yeah, you're right.
3 times in a row. So it's like, me personally, I love Theory. I love everything they've done with Theory up to this point. I would still have him lose just to add more value to the Chamber. Because I'm sick of seeing champions retain inside the Elimination Chamber.
And Theory's a chicken shit, and chicken shit heels can get away with losses a lot easier than other wrestlers.
Yeah, he's a great character. He can bounce back from a loss in the Elimination Chamber. And
if he loses the U.S. belt, I mean, he's already lost the U.S. belt and just picked it right back up once.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't do that because I don't want the U.S. belt to be a hot potato belt.
That's true.
I think the U.S. belt, compared to the Intercontinental belt, which has been the rocks upon the eternal rocks upon the shore for the last year, whereas the U.S. belt has kind of just been hot potatoed between Rollins and Theory and Lashley for a minute now. I'd like for the U.S. belt to have more consistency.
Yep.
And Theory, who knows when they'll want to bump Theory up, right?
That is true.
I mean, if Sammy takes the belt off Roman, and Roman takes a break for a minute, which I think Roman wants to, Sammy needs to have someone immediately take the belt off of him so that Sammy doesn't get stale, right? So that Sammy's still the underdog.
Right.
Theory, I think, could really make the fans mad in possibly a good way. At the same time, LA Knight is right there.
He's too busy.
They're never gonna do anything with LA Knight.
Yeah,
they just had him lose to Uncle Howdy.
He's too busy fighting the friend.
And the friend.
Thankfully, Bray's moving on to Lesnar or Lashley, believe it or not. I forgot to mention that.
Oh, that'll be a great match.
They had Hit Row come out in front of the Montreal audience last night to just go out and get cheap heat, and they sung a rap song about how Quebec is the shittiest province, and Toronto and Calgary and Alberta, they're all way cooler. And then Bray and Uncle Howdy came out and cleaned house, and they killed Hit Row.
Oh, they're faces now.
And then Bray got on the mic and said, "Lesnar, Lashley, whichever you wins, I'm coming for you." Thankfully, he avoided the Booker T slip-up.
Yeah.
Though Bray does have a black wife, it might give him privilege. It might give him a pass.
No, I don't think. It depends. Does she source her passes from Wooly?
Bray and Cody are both in the Cody, you know, is on Impasse Plus. You know he is.
Cody is on
There's no way he is.
Impasse Plus.
Like Cody's not only got a black wife. His father was a black soul trapped in a white body.
Yeah,
this is true.
Oh man.
So,
sure,
so what you're saying is that Cody has a hereditary and Impasse Plus subscription.
I have to imagine watching WCW back in the day, seeing Dusty Rhodes feud with like someone managed by Gary Hart, and Dusty and Gary talking to each other. Like everyone back then must have come like, these are the two blackest white people I have ever seen in my life. Man. Either which way, yeah, that's gonna be. I mean, my hope. What they're probably they're probably not doing. But what I would like would be Lesnar or Lashley, whichever one, whoops Bray so bad that Bray retires from in-ring competition and switches to managing Howdy, right?
I was about to say, is it in bad taste to say that I want Brock to just unlearn how to do safe fucking suplexes?
Bray seems like a nice guy. I don't want anything genuinely bad to happen to him, but
I don't want anything that sticks too much. I just want it enough that he can't wrestle anymore.
Ray's the son of IRS. I don't care what happens to him.
Well, Bray,
he's a tax collector.
You also got to keep in mind, Daddy, they now have
Exactly.
neck fusion surgery that has given Daniel Bryan and Edge their careers back. So I'm not sure
shit.
there's anything short of death that can stop people now.
I forgot. Shit. So when's Stone Cold getting the next fusion surgery?
Stone Cold did come back for a match last year, remember?
I know, yeah.
And he may come back for one this year.
But yeah, Sammy, to me, it seems like if they let him win today, then Sammy will go on to be our traditional champion between Roman and Cody.
No. Okay. If the booking is dumb, then yes. But my God, if Cody took the belt, I said this to Gog the other day while Gog was insisting there is only one solution here, and it's to put the belt on Cody, and it's because he doesn't like Cody. But nonetheless, if Cody takes the belt here, then Cody will spend the rest of his fucking days being the guy who stole Sammy's belt.
Yeah.
And for a heel like Theory, that won't be a problem. LA Knight is so damn charismatic that he can do it and people won't have an issue with it at all. Because LA Knight, I don't mean to be mean, but he's not getting any younger. And my God, that man screams main event talent on every level. Like, if you think he's just a talker and that he can't wow people with the cool moves of the work rate man, then go watch him do a springboard moonsault off the top rope. My God, that man must have the most insane quads. I don't think the funny thing is, the guy who gets the most crazy air is Dexter Lumis, a guy who wears fucking cargo pants.
Yeah, I mean, like it gives you better high flying ability. Look at Jeff Hardy.
That's true. If Ricochet put on cargo pants, he would touch the rafters every time he took a jump.
He might knock him down if he takes the leap like that.
That would be great.
Ricochet tries to do a springboard. He turns the match into a triple that Sting joins.
He knocks Sting out of the rafters on the way up.
Yeah.
You just hear Sting go, "Oh shit!" and then he falls into the ring. I'm imagining like a tag match now that Ricochet's in the tag team with Braun Strowman. And Strowman and him are about to go with some finish spot where Strowman set him up for the 630 senton. And Ricochet just goes spinning upwards. And Strowman watches him go up. And then Strowman just kind of, like, it just keeps going. And Strowman just goes, "Holy shit."
Yeah. I'm still hoping that either like I want one of these very flippy people like Ricochet or Pac to just start using the Kano ball as a finish.
He kind of does. The 630 senton is about as close as a real life move can get to the Kano ball.
And does he do it to sending people though?
No, are you crazy? Why do you want the people to die?
It would be funny.
Oh boy. Oh yeah, tonight is also Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Finn and Rhea. Because let's not even pretend Dominic can be in this match.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if they tried to do it Edge versus Dominic, so Edge just spears him and pins him immediately, but... I mean... Sorry, Edge and Beth, you're probably stepping up for the slaughter here unless Finn's taking the pin, because Rhea's about to go against the Women's World Champion, and neither of you are going against World Champions.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be kind of funny that after this 6-month-long storyline of Edge and Beth versus the Judgment Day, it's going to end in the faces just getting shit on.
You're not
Guess we'll
wrong
see on
there.
how it gets booked.
Oh yeah, by
Mhm.
the way, I don't know how trustworthy this is, but I heard that apparently the reason Edge left the Judgment Day is that his shoot didn't like how supernatural the Judgment Day was getting, so he asked for him to split from the group.
Yeah, I kind of figured that was a Vince decision, but no, apparently that was an Edge decision. Like, I think they've relatively stuck the landing with Judgment Day, and that Judgment Day could have been really bad, whereas now I think they're just kind of another stable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that really lies on Rhea's shoulders and not
Yeah.
anyone else's.
Yeah. They had a rough few months after Edge dumped it, but they were able to rebound enough.
Like, that time period where Rhea was hurt and had the heart monitor and wasn't wrestling, yeah, that was just like, oh boy. Balor, the dude just seems to show up to collect checks.
Yeah.
Like, it's honestly kind of seems like Balor and Shinsuke go back to the fucking catering and just sit and laugh. Man, remember back in New Japan when we actually had to work? Jay White
Japan didn't
walks
have
in, he's
catering
also
like this.
laughing.
And
Oh,
they
man.
left in Japanese, so Vince won't know.
Yeah. Vince doesn't need, Vince, I do not believe Vince would travel with the boys anymore.
Probably not.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm feeling like after WrestleMania 39, there's got to be some shakeups down the card, you know?
Oh yeah.
I mean, obviously the main event's going to need a shakeup just because Roman's probably going to be done for a while. So we're
If
going to need
Roman
somebody else.
retains at his like third WrestleMania in a row, I will be shocked and awed, and I will probably freaking die for some good reason or not good reason at all. But yeah, if he doesn't drop it this year, I don't know. That would be freaking weird. Like,
He's beat Hogan's reign now, hasn't he? It's been
yeah,
over.
I am pretty sure he's at the top of the reigns outside of the crazy people who reigned for like 10 years. Looking at
Bruno
you,
and
Bruno
Bob.
San Martino.
Yeah,
Bruno
Bruno and
wasn't even
Backlund.
any good.
Did
Unbelievable.
Pedro Morales hold the belt that long?
I don't know. He held it for quite a time. He might still be one of the front runners in terms of reign length, but that's just because he reigned in like 1472 and nobody dropped belts back then. But even still, Roman has either surpassed him or he's really close to doing so, I want to say.
Let me look it up. How long was Pedro Morales' World Heavyweight Championship run?
Probably like
1,027
1,020
days.
days. How many days?
1,027.
Oh, wow. I was almost on the money there. I said it was like 1,020. Actually, 1,027. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oof. And the Hulkster, really, the Hulkster held it for 1,400 days, so Roman still not beat him yet.
Interesting.
From 84 to 88. Oh, shit, that's actually much longer than I thought. I must have my dates messed up. Was WrestleMania 1 84 or 85? I thought WrestleMania 1 was 84, but it must be 85.
Possibly.
Hang on, let me look up the first WrestleMania.
See, I
It
thought
must be
Hogan left in like 80, 87 or so.
WrestleMania 40 is going to be in 2024, and there was no WrestleMania 0. So WrestleMania 1 must have been, 85.
85.
Which means then WrestleMania 2 would have been 86, WrestleMania 3 would have been 87, and then WrestleMania 4 was 88. So yeah, it would have been early 88, the months before WrestleMania, that Andre took the belt, and then promptly dropped it. And it was vacated, and then Randy picked it up at WrestleMania 4.
Ah.
Let's see. Meanwhile, Gunther is at 252 days. I'm just looking this up out of curiosity as well. And the longest running reign, let's see, how many days did Honky Tonk have? Honky Tonk had 450. So, yeah, still gonna need 200 more days for Gunther to beat Honky Tonk's record. Holy shit. I mean, that's a long fucking time for somebody to hold the Intercontinental belt. But I mean, we all have been down the years wanting somebody to finally beat Honky Tonk's record, right?
Yeah.
Just because he's honky tonk, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, just because, like, what a prestigious record to be wasted on the Honky Tonk Man.
Yeah.
Well, what can you say? He's cool, he's cocky, he's man. I don't remember
Is
the
he,
lyrics to
though?
his song.
Is he
I don't know if
any
he's
of those
any of
things?
those things.
I'm having some serious doubts over here, boyos.
All the interviews I've seen with Honky Tonk, he seems like a little bitch boy.
Yeah.
Or, well, a large bitch boy, but still. Oh, boy. And, yeah, they're going to be Lesnar versus Lashley. Whoever wins gets the illustrious honor of fighting Bray Wyatt.
In a Mountain Dew match.
Get a Mountain Dew match. Do pay Duty $1 million for that match.
Was 1 million well spent?
Like that.
Oh wait, no. Bray will face Lashley or Lesnar in a Doritos match.
If Bray, that's the thing. Bray can keep wrestling shit matches. Duty won't mind if Bray is also able to negotiate a stupid brand deal for $1 million each time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Finally, he has use.
Yes.
Like, especially if Bray can keep coming up with dumb gimmicks that are nonetheless not the brand deal itself. Because the Mountain Dew thing was just a logo at the Rumble. At no point did Bray whip out a Mountain Dew bottle, though that would have been funny.
Yeah, he should have.
Man, I'm just disappointed now.
What?
The match could have been so much more for so many
Okay,
reasons.
imagine-
Get ready at WrestleMania 39 for the Spicy Doritos Inferno match.
Yeah!
I'm imagining a spot where he ties one of them up and force feeds them Doritos.
I'm just imagining
Doritos.
somebody getting lit on fire while there's a Doritos logo on the bottom left.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
boy.
then Cole has to say, "This fire is hot, but not as hot as spicy hot Doritos." As his soul escapes his body.
Eating the Doritos builds up his finisher meter.
Yeah. I don't know. I like the idea of doing the Andre arm trapped spot, but instead of hitting them, you just force feed them Doritos.
Yeah.
Has anyone here eaten, like, spicy Doritos? Because I have not.
They don't sell Doritos over here, so
I must have at some point, but I don't really recall.
I've, like, had normal Doritos and the Cool Ranch Doritos that you get in those terrible party pack things. And then I've had... Oh,
I
have
think I might have had
anything
a. I think I might have had a spicy flavor with lime once.
else? Way back in the day, and I'm talking like way back, 2003 or 4, there was a guacamole. I was about to
Guacamole.
say guacamole. There was a guacamole Dorito flavor, and that was very good. And they were green, and it was nasty looking, and it was great. I
We
don't
got
think they make-
guacamole Doritos. They make
Yeah.
you uppercut people into the air and then pile drive them.
yeah.
Yeah.
We have guacamole Doritos. We have Fez Doritos. We have what other indie games do I know that came out around that time? Dustin Elysian Tail Doritos. Fucking Super Meat Boy Doritos.
Okay, I know we've been playing Fire Pro nonstop lately, but talking about wrestling makes me want to play Fire Pro.
But yeah, the closest I've gotten to actually eating Doritos is I saw that they were being sold in Croatia. They were very expensive, so I didn't.
Understandable.
Like I'm
These are luxury Doritos.
yeah, like I didn't. like I don't even eat potato chips at all anymore.
This
So
isn't
like,
Doritos. This is Doros.
yeah, just one large triangle. And it's just
Underneath the counter, the guy has to like heft it up.
yeah, and it's in like an entire inch of coating.
Yeah. You put it on somebody's PlayStation controller as the world's worst prank.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But yeah, like like they were being sold at like premium Pringles prices. And like Pringles is the I have money to spare brand over here. Like one can of Pringles is like fucking, I wanna say $10.
Woo!
Yeah. Something dumb like that.
I don't know how much Pringles cost over here, which is kind of funny
Not that
because I'm
much.
often on the chip aisle.
But yeah, like so like Pringles is like $10. If memory serves, like this is probably wrong because I had to convert it into Hungarian currency and then $2 in my head. But I think the Doritos in Croatia were like 15 a pack.
Whew. I think Doritos over here for a sizable bag are like $4.99, but I could be wrong on that. Could be a little bit more, could be a little bit less. Really depends on the size of it.
Yeah, I'm talking about like regular size, not the big bags. So yeah, like I'm not gonna pay $15 for chips. It's kind of expensive.
Yeah. I wouldn't pay $15 for a bag of chips either. Unless they were really good chips, in which case I might consider it, but I'd probably vote against it.
But yeah, where were we?
I don't know. I felt like I was about to wrap it up and say, like, do we
And
want to
then
play Fire Pro?
started talking about chips, yeah.
I just feel like chopping motherfuckers is Ken Kabashi, damn it.
Kabashi's overrated.
You shut your whore mouth.
Oh yeah, I did. Actually, now that you remind me, yeah, I did watch the video you sent me, the match.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I watched it like 2 weeks ago, but I keep forgetting to bring it up. But yeah, I liked it. They did a lot more high spots than I thought they would. Because like there's a certain type of wrestling that I'm conditioned to expect from that time, not just from WWE but also from WCW and stuff like that. Because I had exposure to older wrestling, like even before WWE and WWF and WCW.
Yeah.
Through they had this show, I forget its name, the Highlight Reel or something like that. They had this show run by Mean Gene, if memory serves, where they would just air like old wrestling. They just had in the backlogs, and obviously that show went away when they announced the WWE Network.
Yeah.
But I got to see like yeah.
I was just going to say I love old All Japan matches, but there is definitely an argument to be made that the All Japan wrestling style is one of the big things that led to a lot of bad habits among modern wrestlers.
Yeah.
Killed the business, boyo.
But yeah, so like I was exposed to things like WCCW and stuff like that just through that stuff, and I also watched some like 90s wrestling, and I forget it. If memory serves, this was the match was in the 90s. I'm gonna check because it's in the title of the video you sent, so it's easy to check.
Should have been 94. 95.
Yeah. But yeah, like there's different things that your brain does. Like the presentation overall just made me think of like 80s wrestling.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, okay, I saw it. I've seen 80s wrestling. A lot of it's gonna be a lot of breast holds. It's gonna be suplexes and stuff like that. It's gonna be the basics because there wasn't that much flair. It was just let's do a good wrestling match.
Well, the classic style is you start with holds, and they were called working holds because the idea back then, kind of a lost art for a lot of wrestlers now, was the working hold is supposed to build up tension and put the face in peril, and then the match gets more exciting when the face gets out of the hold and starts his comeback and hits his big moves, right?
Yeah.
Sounds like sacrilege to me.
And that was the style in All Japan in the early 90s, late 80s. And you can go back and see some really good Jumbo Tsuruta, Riki Choshu, Genichiro Tenryu matches that do that. Mizawa back in his days as Tiger Mask 2. And, they were pretty solid old school matches. But around the time that Baba had to really slow down because of his cancer and his old age, Baba only died in his 40s. I always have to remind myself of that. Tsuruta had to slow down because he developed syphilis or something like that.
That's not good.
No, it's not good. No, it wasn't syphilis. It was some kind of sexually transmitted illness, but hang on, I'm looking it up. Jumbo Tsuruta had to very abruptly go from... Hang on. He very abruptly had to go from Hep. It was the Hep C.
Oh, no.
Hep C is the STD kind, right? Because there's different Heps, and they all come from different... Hep C is blood-to-blood contact.
I'm pretty sure you can also get it through intercourse.
Yeah. But Jumbo Tsuruta was pretty well...
biological secretions.
Jumbo Tsuruta was pretty well the consistent big star of All Japan for about decade, maybe a decade and a half, and he was kind of classic babyface. Then when Mizawa was coming up and he took off the mask and he became just Mizawa, they ran a storyline that was very hot in Japan at the time. It was one of the biggest draws. That Tsuruta didn't like these young kids coming up and replacing him. And that was hot for a minute, but then they weren't able to wrap the storyline up properly because Tsuruta had to more or less retire because of the Hep.
Yeah.
And that's when it became kind of the new generation of Mizawa, Kobashi, Toshiaki Kawada, and Akira Taue. And those four all kind of got, they were trying to do bigger, better, faster. They also notoriously got into the pattern of all innovating moves that were more dangerous than the others. Which, of course, the one that survived out of that era that everybody knows is the Burning Hammer, which is, ironically, the safest one out of them.
Yeah.
It's an era that, for people like me, it's a classic era of wrestling. I love to go back and watch it. I don't want there to be anymore. I don't want people to wrestle like that anymore. Gunther's the closest thing there is nowadays to that style, and Gunther doesn't have any moves that are stupid dangerous like that. Gunther's stiff, but Gunther doesn't drop people on their heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yet. Well, Gunther even does the Emerald Flosion, but Gunther does the Cena-style Emerald Flosion, which is much safer than the Emerald Flosion that Mizawa did.
Right.
Nowadays, of course, that era of All Japan is mostly infamous for the fact that it wound up killing Mizawa and also kind of guiding Kobashi and Kawada into early retirement.
Right.
Either which way, it's a period of wrestling and a wrestling style I really enjoy watching the matches of. And yeah, I just sent it to you. It's one of the best matches from that time period, so I wanted you to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked it. Once again, they did more high spots than I figured, because I was like, okay, he's going to the top turnbuckle. Obviously, this is an elbow because things like moonsaults weren't invented yet.
No, the moonsault was Kobashi's finish.
Yeah, he just did 2 moonsaults back to back. And I went, wow.
Yeah. Well, Mizawa was the top star of the company at the time, and Kobashi was, for all intents and purposes, a jobber to the stars. This was despite Kobashi's fucking incredible physique, he was supposed to be the underdog there.
And
Mizawa was going...
Yeah.
Mizawa was going light on him because they were old friends, so that was kind of the story there, right?
Yeah, and there were multiple parts. Well, no, actually, there was one spot that I remember distinctly where you can see how this sort of wrestling influenced modern wrestling, because there was a spot where Misawa threw Kobashi out and Kobashi was on the ground, and then my brain just went, he's not gonna do a suicide dive, is he?
Yeah.
In fucking 95, and he didn't. But you know, the fact that I actually like even considered that he might.
Mizawa would do suicide dives every now and then, but he was definitely not the kind of guy who did one every match. It was pretty rare, which made it feel more special.
Yeah, it was an actual spot with a meaning.
Wow. You want to see something crazy? Stan Hansen sometimes did suicide dives. Oh, that fucking big tub of lard.
But yeah, with Kobashi, I mean, I'm gonna say something sacrilegious. The chops didn't work for me.
Yeah, Kabashi's chops were the worst part of him. I love Kabashi, but Kabashi's chops suck most of the time.
Yeah, like the rest of the match that they worked were fine. The chops were just a bit too much. It's getting into the Kenny Omega thing of like, I get that this is worked, but at least make me believe that it's not.
Kabashi, like the discus chops looked good, but Kabashi had a recurring issue of his chops would oftentimes be stiff, and you could tell that the other guy's boobs would be bouncing when they got chopped. But because Kabashi focused on doing more chops, quantity over quality, it often looked like he was gently tapping the opponent on their shoulders or on their chest.
Yeah, exactly. Like the discus chops and stuff like that. That's fine. The stuff that didn't work for him was the rapid chops, which just looked dumb.
Yeah. Well, there's always, of course, the contrast, and then you have Mizwa's elbows, which look stiff as fuck.
Yeah. And then they also, I also remember a spot. Oh yeah, it was like they did an back suplex to the apron, and they just sold it like that.
Yeah,
I like that because you don't see that anymore.
Yeah,
the back suplex has been nerfed.
In Japan, the back suplex is one of the deadliest moves there is.
And I also just like how... Yeah, go ahead.
There's a bit of a legacy difference there. In America, generally back suplexes were just a move you did to the back when you didn't know what else to do, even going back to the old days. In Japan, it's a lot more respected because the back suplex was Jumbo Tsuruda's finish. Like over in Japan, I don't think they take the figure 4 leg lock that seriously, for instance, because no one really of note did it as a finish other than Flair when he hopped over there from time to time. Yeah. Whereas over here in the States, when anyone does the figure 4, regardless of whether it's their finish or not, it's a big thing because we think, oh, Flair.
Yeah. Shit, I was gonna point something out. Because I remember the really nice spot that they did in the ring. I mean, overall, the selling, I enjoyed the lost art of selling your actual injuries in the match.
Yeah. That's...
like, most recently... yeah, go ahead.
It's part of the funny thing of people in America being inspired by the All Japan style is, in All Japan, they could do this match where these big crazy moves, but they sell like hell.
Yeah.
And the match takes 40 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
Because they're doing big shit and then they're selling it a ton. And in the West, they try to do that, but there isn't... For one thing, they see selling as the boring part of the match, but on top of that, in the West, you generally get 10 minutes. Yeah. If you're a big star, you'll get 20 to 30, maybe. There isn't that much time to sell and also get all your shit in, so most of them choose to get their shit in rather than to sell.
Like, I remember most recently, for any sort of selling in a match, I saw Cesaro have a match in AEW where he tried to sell, bless his heart.
Yeah.
But in the middle of the match, he forgot which leg was injured. And also, did he forget? But so did his opponent. So
All Japan actually...
Yeah.
Come to think of it, I just want to get this in real quick. All Japan has one of my all-time favorite sells for any move ever. It was Tenryu versus Kawada about 2000 or 2001. And Tenryu and Kawada are doing a strike exchange spot until Tenryu just hits Kawada with a real stiff jab to the side of the face. Kawada sells it by standing still for a second, then squatting down and like looking like his eyes glazed over. And he just squats for about a second or two, then he just falls over. Like, he looked like for a minute there, he was like, oh, oof. And then he falls over, right?
Yeah. That's a sort of sell where Ted would be yelling about how Japan sucks.
No, I think Ted likes a bit of overselling sometimes. It depends on what guy is overselling. Because during the Rumble, they had a spot where someone lariated or stunnered or super kicked Austin Theory. Austin Theory did like a old rock style headstand sell.
Yeah.
Right? Landed back on his feet and then against the ropes, and someone lariated him over the ropes to eliminate him from the Rumble. And Ted loved that spot. But Ted is a lot more forgiving of Theory, I think.
Yeah.
Theory is very distinctly one of Ted's boys, and Ted will tell you that.
Oh yeah, I remember the thing I was gonna bring up. The one thing that I really appreciated about the match that you sent is that there's this small difference in Japanese wrestling that hasn't been replicated in Western wrestling as much, or at least I haven't really seen it in the WWE, which is just the sheer amount of variants in back suplexes. Because you have the default one, you have the tiger suplex, the dragon suplex, whatever the fuck else. But you don't really see the tiger and the dragon suplex all that much. Aside from
because they're specific guys' finishes.
Are they?
Yeah, if you do this tiger suplex and you're not a Tiger Mask, it's kind of seen as you're stealing Tiger Mask's finish. And similarly, if you do the dragon suplex, it's kind of thought you're stealing Tatsumi Fujinami's finish.
They did both in the match.
Oh. Well, Tatsumi Fujinami and Tiger Mask are both New Japan guys. That's the other company.
No. I meant in the midst of a match. They did both of those.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, never mind. I got you.
That's always been one thing that bugged me in the WWE games, is that you have to set up back medium moves or back light moves, right?
Yeah.
And there's so little that actually makes sense as back light or back medium moves. Because it's like, okay, your back light or back medium choices. German suplex, back suplex, dragon suplex, tiger suplex. These are all moves that drop a guy on his head. These should be finishes. This would kill a man if done shoot.
But yeah, like I don't really see a lot of people use Tiger and Dragon suplexes in WWE, and it saddens me because I remember playing Virtual Pro Wrestling on N64, and it was just like, all right, so here's 8 Tiger suplexes, choose one.
I forgot to mention this.
Yeah.
Ronda was really dedicated to killing herself last night because they actually had Shotzi Tiger suplexed Ronda, and Ronda decided to take the fucking stiff ass drop on my neck Tiger suplex.
Cool.
I don't know what got into Ronda last night. She was losing it.
Shotzi then proceeded to hit Ronda with the Kawada driver.
Yeah.
And the murder fucking wheel.
I don't think anybody does that move. That must have been made up for Fire Pro.
I hope so. Oh, shit. But yeah, I enjoyed that match.
Yeah.
And thankfully, at least if I open it up on YouTube, I actually get recommended related All Japan matches, so that's good.
Yeah. There is a lot of matches from that time period of the Big Four, so Misawa, Kobashi, Kawada, Taue. There's a lot of Stan Hansen. If you stiff. Ooh. Vader again, stiff. Oof. There's definitely a lot of Dr. Death Steve Williams matches on there. I'm not so big on him. I've only seen one match of his though. Maybe he could wow me in other places, but eh. There's a good solid selection of the mid card guys from that time period too. Joe Akiyama's another classic, and he's the only one out of those guys who's still wrestling today for some reason. Joe Akiyama's really good. He's a lot of fun. Either which way, I believe we could probably go ahead and wrap it up.
Yeah.
Oh, how do you say bye?